Candlepin Stars and Strikes continues on WNDS TV.
Candlepin Bowling is brought to you by Rockingham Toyota Dodge Nissan, 354 Main Street, Salem, New Hampshire.
All right, here you see the 5 bowlers who began our series a couple of weeks ago. Steve Plante, the number 5 seed, beating Rich Clark in the first week. Then Ed Woodside ousting Steve Plante, setting up this afternoon's match with Joe Stella and Ed Woodside with Tom Morgan, the number 1 seed, waiting in the wings. And first to bowl here this afternoon will be our number 3 seed, Ed Woodside. And he'll step to lane 34 at Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire to get us underway on Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV. That's a pretty good way to start, isn't it? On his way to a perfect 300. What a way to begin. He buried it. On the head pin that time, but not a lot to show for it. Ed Woodside and Joe Stella are best friends. They were telling me before the match. They bowl in a Friday night pro league together. They take vacations together. They've been best friends and continue to be best friends. And that'll be an 8-box for Ed Woodside. And now we get a look at Joe Stella. Joe, 38 years old. Monkey see, monkey do, they say, huh? How about that? Matching his best buddy, first frame strike. Now Joe tries to double up. Right in the pocket. There they go. Will history repeat itself? $525 in the triple strike jackpot when Joe Stella steps to the line. Next time up, here's Ed Woodside. 2 out of 3 for Ed Woodside. What'd these guys have for breakfast today? Woodside with 2 out of 3. The crowd is buzzing. Understandably so. Woodside on the head pin. Same thing in reverse from his first ball in the second frame. Tough shot. Gave it a run. Couldn't convert. Joe Stella getting ready. And that will be a 9-box for Ed Woodside. This is a check at a $525 shot coming up for Joe Stella. 2 weeks ago, we gave away $1,050 to Steve Plante. Last week, $575. Here it is. Off the head pin. Missed the head pin. No bonus money for Joe Stella and a 7-box. And could it be 3 out of 4? He surrounded it. The 8-pin is still standing, wood all around it. And it'll be a spare for Joe Stella. A couple of weeks ago, we told you about a 220 game that was rolled back in 1964 by Don Kelly. His sister Nancy Regan brought it to our attention, brought a newspaper clipping from the Boston Globe, March 27, 1964. Don Kelly, then 29 years old, rolled it at the Malden Square Bowlodrome. And then we mentioned that we had heard about a 245 sanctioned by the NBA and the ICBA. And in fact, we have a story on that 245 string as Woodside misses This is in the publication called Candlepin 2 Bowling, and it's put out by a gentleman named Jim Fairhurst from Alamogordo, New Mexico. We're giving it to all of our bowlers participating in this ladder series. And Ralph Sem, who is the owner of the French King Entertainment Center, bowled the record string at Community Lanes in Westfield, Massachusetts. It was bowled during a Pro Tour event on March 4th, 1984, and not sanctioned until July 1999, some 15 years later. But it is, in fact, sanctioned as the high string in Candlepin bowling, a 245, as you watch Ed Woodside mark in the 6th frame. And what a string it is. They have the line here. He started out with 7 strikes in a row and then spared the last 3. And his last ball was a 3 fill in the spare for a 245. Joe Stella. Will take a $9. An early 10-pin lead for Stella, but he's up against a mark by Woodside in the 6th. So the story of the 245 is in fact here. It is in fact sanctioned, albeit 15 years after it was rolled. And it's the mark that I don't know if it'll ever be reached by anybody in Candlepin bowling. You never say never, but boy, do you come close to saying it in that one. Here's Stella just missing the mark. And a 10 box. In Mike Moran's absence, Sean Howard, the manager of Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire, is seated to my right. He is controlling the computer scoreboard that you're looking at right now and keeping you up to date on the progress of the match. And we appreciate his efforts. Rumor circulating at Leda Lanes was that someone told Mike Moran that today was the day that we were going to have to bowl each other, and that's why he didn't show up. You can run, Michael, but you can't hide. I'll find you one of these days. Actually, Michael underwent some minor throat surgery. And since speaking is his business, he needed to take the time off, and he is doing well and looks forward to returning to Candlepin Stars and Strikes in a couple of weeks. Ed Woodside with the 6, 7, and 10 and plenty of wood. Mike Poulin, Gary Santora, Joe Tavernese, and Scott Creighton have all earned spots in the Tournament of Champions. One of these two guys would like to be there as well. They'd both like to be there. But it'll either be Ed Woodside, Joe Stella, or top seed Tom Morgan, who's waiting in the wings to face the winner of this match. And there's a nice shot by Joe Stella, playing the wood perfectly. Joe is married, has 3 kids. He and wife Debbie have Cheryl, Kara, and Joe. And when asked about his hobbies, his response: with 3 kids and 3 jobs, how does one have hobbies? His jobs: he works for Central Park Lanes, he works as a UPS courier driver, and works for East Coast Airport Services. And he takes a 10 box. An early 16-pin lead after 8 boxes of the first string for Joe Stella. And here's Ed Woodside, 40 years old, a sales associate at Macy's in downtown Boston. I asked him prior to the taping if, in fact, there were not a one-day sale at Macy's. There almost always is, he said. Here's a spare for Ed Woodside. But as you watch this show a couple of weeks after the taping, who knows, there may be one today. This is the 4, the 7, and the 10 with the deck cleared. Ed and wife Denise have 2 children, Michael 10 and Lauren 7. And Ed's brother Kevin, also a bowler, was on the last ladder series and lost to eventual ladder winner Gary Santoro. That was in the second ladder series. No, it was in the last ladder series. Gary was the winner. Gary is the 2nd seed thus far in the Tournament of Champions. Joe Stella will take a slight lead into the 2nd string. He'll throw a 7 box there. That's puts him at 114. Woodside finishing with 117. I'll tell you about the trips to nowhere that we're giving away, giving you a chance to participate and to win some nice prizes just for watching Candlepin Stars and Strikes. The trips to nowhere courtesy of the travel connection of Plasto. Joe Stella, a spare in the last box. He is at 124 plus a ball, a 7-pin lead plus whatever he gets on this ball. The trips to nowhere now part of our bonus ball contest for the rest of the season on Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS, and that's a 6 in the spare and a 130 for a string and a 13-pin lead for Joe Stella over Ed Woodside as we head to string number 2 on Candlepin Stars and Strikes from Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire. You're watching WNDS TV. Joe Stella ready to go on lane 34. He'll be first to bowl in our 2nd string of this 3-string match on Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV. Dick Lutz, happy to have you with us. Mike Morin not with us today, not with us for the duration of this ladder series. Oh, Stella wrapped it around. He almost pulled off a terrific shot, the 2, the 4, and the 10, wrapping the 2-pin right around the 10-pin. And that will be a 9 box for Joe Stella to start out. Started telling you about the cruise to nowhere that we're giving away. These cruises depart Boston beginning May 31st. They run through September. They leave on a Friday at 7. They return to Boston Sunday at 5, and they're all inclusive. The entertainment, the lodging, the food, the casino opens up once you're in international waters, and the travel connection of Plasto, New Hampshire will meet or beat any price on these trips, and there are no service charges on the trips to our winners. Here's an 8 box for Joe Stella. If you'd like more information about the cruise to nowhere from the travel connection of Plasto, New Hampshire, call 603-382-5330. It's 603-382-5330. And they sound terrific. And here's Ed Woodside punching it right through. Spread eagle +1. Plus the 5-pin right in the middle of the deck. And he punches out the 5-pin. So now he's got the spread eagle. That's a nice out, an 8 box for Ed Woodside. Our winning bowler wins a $50 gift certificate from Haverhill Beef on Merrimack Street in Haverhill, Massachusetts. Joe Terrazzano does a terrific job, and you will be delighted if you stop by Haverhill Beef and see the assortment of beef and poultry and marinades that are on display, and you will just be delighted with the selection. If you're having a party, if you're planning a cookout, if you're planning to have people over, make sure you stop by Haverhill Beef on Merrimack Street in Haverhill, New Hampshire, and Joe Terrazzano will be there to greet you. There's a spare for Ed Woodside in the 2nd frame. Joe Stella to to earn the number 2 seed in this roll-off, rolled a 5-string total of 671. And what's remarkable about that 671 score, I am told, I haven't seen the sheet, is that one of the strings was below 100. Do you recall that, Sean, that one of the strings was in the 90s, in the mid-90s? On his way to a 671 5-string total, 1 string below 100. That is remarkable. And he almost pulled off a great shot. $9 for Joe Stella. He's without a mark through the first 4 frames of the second string. Ed Woodside, solid pocket shot. The 4-pin survived. And there it goes for second mark in a row for Ed Woodside. He's looking for some bonus cash right now. $50 for 3 marks in a row. Right through the middle, a spread eagle. The 7-pin kicked out, so it's not quite as bad. Piece of wood on the deck may not be a factor. Not if he plays it that way. It's a $9 for Ed Woodside. A 5-pin lead in the match for Ed Woodside over Joe Stella as we go to the break. We're coming right back to Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire for Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV. Joe Stella moves to lane 34 at Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire. He'll be bowling right under the Rockingham, Toyota, Dodge, Nissan sign. Happy to have them back as a sponsor on Candlepin Stars and Strikes this year. And the first ball leaves a tough split. You've got the 5, 7, 8, and 10. Well, the 5, 8, and 10 are gone. The 7 still stands. $10 for Joe Stella. Still looking for his first mark of the second string, a 43.5. Nothing to write home about. Here's a spare opportunity for Joe. Compare the 43.5 in this string with a 70.5 he had in the first string. And that'll be a spare for Joe Stella, his first mark of the second string. Ed Woodside cleaned out the right side and leaves himself the 2, 4, and 7 with a piece of wood between the 4 and the 7, which certainly cannot hurt. He had missed the object pin, which was the 2-pin, and that had to go. $9 for Ed Woodside. He's at 60 for a half. And now he's up against the Joe Stella mark. Right on the head pin, a little too full. 3, 6, and 10 on the right, the 4 and the 7 on the left. Piece of wood in the middle. It should prove to be beneficial. No, not the way he played it there. That'll be an $8 and a 68 through 6. Joe Stella a chance to get a little closer. Joe has a high of 196, a high triple of 486. Been bowling for 25 years. And there's a strike. Kind of in slow motion as you watch it again. The last to go is what, the 3-pin? It was the last to go as it got swept out from behind. Now a chance for bonus money for Joe Stella. And the Will it go? It wobbles. It moved. It moved an inch or so, but it's still standing with a piece of wood around it. And that's $50 in bonus money for Joe Stella. So Joe, after a miserable first half in this string where he had a 43, has 3 marks in a row and is on his way to a pretty good string. Now here's Ed Woodside. Threw it past the head pin, half Worcester left side. It's amazing what a couple of marks can do for you. Here's Ed Woodside with a great shot, almost converting the spare, leaving just the 4-pin. Now Ed finds himself in a situation where he needs a mark, or he stands to fall significantly behind Joe Stella, who has put 3 marks together. Here's a good first ball. 6-pin still there. Wood is not a factor, I do not believe. Well, I take it back. He did hit the wood and missed the shot. So he will be open in the 8th frame. $9 for Ed Woodside. He's at 86. Joe Stella has a 20-pin lead in the match, plus whatever he gets on this next ball, which fills the spare. I want to tell you about the Kahala Chinese Restaurant and Lounge right next door to Leda Lanes. Next time you're bowling or shopping in Nashua, why not stop in at the Kahala? Terrific specials every day. Luncheon and daily specials. The lunch buffet is Joe Stella. Puts an 8 in the spare and leaves the 7 and the 10 with some wood. The Kahala is right next door to Leda Lanes. The lunch buffet every day, Monday through Saturday, 11:45 to 2. As Joe Stella goes for the spare, plays the wood. Not able to convert. The lunch buffet just $5.95. The dinner buffet $8.95, and that's Thursdays from 5 to 8 and Sundays from noon to 8 p.m. Why not stop on by at the Kahala Chinese Restaurant and Lounge? It's right next door to Leda Lanes. They're at 350 Amherst Street. It's Route 101A in Nashua, New Hampshire. Well, Stella has another opportunity for a spare. The wood is favorable behind the pack there, and he's going to miss the spare because he missed the head pin, which was the 3-pin. That'll be a 10 box and a 121 second string for Joe Stella. 2-string total of 251. Woodside needs a mark to get closer. And that's one way to do it right there. Good looking strike for Ed Woodside, his 3rd mark of the string. Watch it one more time. Right in the pocket. Good action after the ball made its way through. And the strike is a good one for Woodside, and now he could use another mark. Missed the head pin. Leaves the 4 horsemen on the left side. One, 2, 4, and 7. He's got a shot at it, but he picked the 1 right off of it. He's at 110 and 113. 113 second string, a 2-string total of 230, a 21-pin lead for Joe Stella over Ed Woodside as we head to the 3rd and final string of this semifinal match of our 5th ladder series on Candlepin Stars and Strikes from Leda Lanes in Nashua on WNDS TV. Every week we give you a chance to be part of the action on Candlepin Stars and Strikes with our bonus ball contest. After every match, we draw a postcard from one of our viewers and try to match them up with the winning bowler. And you can do it by sending a postcard with your name and address. Pick a number from 1 to 10. Mail it to Leda Lanes, 340 Amherst Street, Nashua, New Hampshire, 03063. And one of the cards will be You might win a cash prize if you match up the number. You might win a consolation prize from N&R Trophies of Winchendon, Massachusetts. You could win 10 free strings of bowling from Leda Lanes in Nashua, or you could win the cruise to nowhere from Travel Connection in Plastow, New Hampshire, which we're giving away for the duration of our season on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Now, Ed Woodside is the first to bowl in string number 3, and he takes a 21-pin deficit into the third string, trailing Joe Stella 251 to 230. The winner of this match takes on top seed Tom Morgan next week. Good shot by Woodside, and he's not able to convert. If you want more information on the cruise to nowhere, courtesy of the Travel Connection of Plastow, call 603-382-5330, 603-382-5330. These are terrific cruises, each of the cruises for 2 people, departing Boston on a Friday night, returning on a Sunday evening, and they're all inclusive. From entertainment, lodging, food, and the casino opens up once you hit international waters, and the Travel Connection will meet or beat any price. The Travel Connection of Plastow, 603-382-5330. Woodside opens with a 9 and a 10. Now Joe Stella, our second seed from Winthrop, Massachusetts. We mentioned at the top how Woodside and Stella are best friends and bowl in the same team in the same league. And Ed Woodside's brother Kevin is also a terrific bowler. He was on one of our ladder series, and they bowl with and against the Morgan brothers from Revere and Lynn, Tom from Revere and Mike from Lynn. The friendly rivalries have been established, and you see Joe Stella open with a spare and a strike. Watching it one more time, Stella off to a big start in the third string, trying to put his buddy away, and Ed Woodside responds with a pocket shot in the 5-pin still standing. And the wood on the deck. He caught the tip of the wood, and it knocked it away. That was the one place on the lane that he didn't want to be. Could have gone to either side and made the shot, and he ends up with a 9 box. So Ed Woodside in a bit of difficulty now, trailing by 21 going into the string, and down a couple more marks in the third string. 4 horsemen left side. Nice shot. Ed Woodside, big spare in the 4th frame. Boy, did he need that badly. Now Joe Stella. Looking for some bonus money. Pushed it right through the headpin, broke up the spread eagle, but isn't much better off. He's got the 3, the 6, and the 10 on the right, the 2 pins on the left. He'll look for some action off the side wall, doesn't get it. And a 10 box for Joe Stella. And he follows it up with a good shot on the head pin, leaving just the 7 pin. Third mark and 4 frames for Joe Stella as we go to the break, with Stella in control as we head down the home stretch of this third and final string of this match between Ed Woodside and Joe Stella on Candlepin Stars and Strikes from WNDS TV. Ed Woodside ready to go on lane 34 at Leda Lanes. He's working on a spare. And he needs a bunch of marks back to back to back to get back into this. That time he missed the head pin. got a pretty good fall of 7 in the 1, the 7, and the 10. Known to many as the high-low jack, and there it goes. Perfectly done by Ed Woodside. 2 marks in a row, and he needs another one. That time he missed the head pin. Almost had the same exact shot. Got the 1, the 7, and the 8. Difficult shot for Ed Woodside. $50 on the line here. Not able to convert. Gave it a good run. That'll be a 9 box for Ed Woodside. He's at 71 through 6. Joe Stella working on a spare. Joe already has 3 marks in the 3rd string and a pretty comfortable lead at this point. On the head pin, very full, very unusual leave. The 3, the 6, and the 10 with the 4 and the 8 on the left. Almost made it too. What a great try by Joe Stella. It's going to have about a 30-pin lead with 4 boxes remaining. Well, there goes some pins. That sets up a spare opportunity for Joe Stella as the split was broken up. Now he has the 3, 6, and 10 on the right side. And the spare. Whoop, he missed it. Thought for sure he had it. It was perfectly placed. The wood knocked it away. Absolutely thought he made the shot. Well, that's one of the idiosyncrasies of Candlepin bowling. I thought for sure that shot was made. Here is Woodside needing marks. Well, a lot of wood. Got to just start spraying it and hope it ends in the right places. Here it goes. He sprayed it all right with machine gun fire. Woodside burying it into the wood, and the wood just splattered across the deck into the 7-pin. 3rd mark in the last 4 boxes for Woodside. Needs another one on the head pin. The pin wraps around. 7 in the spare, another spare opportunity for Ed Woodside, and he can't pass up the opportunity here. Needs to make the shot. Missed it. And they're looking at the piece of wood. And Chris Bovair will run down and remove the wood that is out apparently beyond the end line and take it away. So the 5-pin is still standing. And it'll be a 9 box for Ed Woodside. He's at 97. Joe Stella still in control, in command in this semifinal match. The winner to take on Tom Morgan next week. Stella. The 7 and the 10 are still standing. There's wood on the deck that will be a factor here. Now the wood's starting to roll away a little bit, and Joe would like it to stay closer. Joe will try to slide that wood across. Here it comes. He missed it. He just took the 10-pin cleanly. Wasn't what he was trying to do. But he'll take 1 on the right and 1 on the left. A 10 box for Joe Stella. And without a mark, Joe's going to have about a 25-pin lead. But he has a mark, so it's going to be over 30 pins with 2 boxes to go. That's a beautiful strike for Joe Stella. Watch it one more time. Right on the head pin. And there they go. The 6 and the 10, the last to go, but they went willingly at the end. Now Woodside punches it right through, and that should just about do it for Joe Stella, who is set to advance to the championship match Last time Joe Stella was in one of our ladder series, he was the number 5 seed and lost to number 4 seed Brian Feast. And another spread eagle for Ed Woodside. Joe Stella has won this match already. And now we'll look to see if Joe can win some bonus money. 115, third string for Ed Woodside, a 345 triple. So we continue up the ladder on the seeds, and here's Joe Stella trying to win some bonus money. And he takes the spare the hard way with the wood off the wall. And an opportunity for some cash for Joe Stella. He has 2 marks in a row. Right on the head pin. The 5 and the 10 still stand. Gives it a shot. Just threw it by the 5 pin as he gave it a shot. And the bonus money will not be given out to Joe Stella as he finishes with a 139 and a 3-string total of 390. A 390 to 345 win for Joe Stella over Ed Woodside. And Stella advances to take on Tom Morgan for the championship of this ladder series next week. We will return to meet our boulders and hand out some prize money when we come back to Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire for Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV.
When 2 good friends bowl, like when 2 brothers bowl, one of them has to come up the loser, and unfortunately, that's what happened this afternoon as we had Ed Woodside defeated by Joe Stella, 2 good friends, and 1 advances and 1 is all finished for this ladder series. Let's bring up our runner-up this afternoon, Ed Woodside. Ed, congratulations to you. We have a $250 check. That's the runner-up check. A copy of the Candlepin Bowling book, Candlepin Bowling. After 109 years, Candlepin Bowling is the phoenix of sports. It's by Jim Fairhurst from Alamogordo, New Mexico. A lot of interesting information and data. Last week you won $575, the triple strike jackpot. Couldn't quite find the range here this afternoon.
Yeah, if someone had to beat me, I'm glad it was Joey. Next time we go out, he's going to pay for everything. So.
I hope you make him buy everything. Tell me about the relationship. You told me before the match you 2 were best of friends.
Yeah, we've been friends since we were like 12 years old and bowled. We hang out every weekend together, so we're pretty close.
And you travel and take vacations together?
Aruba, we go to Vegas, yeah, everything. Foxwood.
Does he pick up the check when you're out there?
Most of the time, yeah. Yeah, he does.
You've trained him very well. Yeah. Hope to see you back soon.
Okay,
Ed Woodside, our runner-up here this afternoon. He had a big week last week with the triple strike jackpot, and he had the $250 runner-up check here this afternoon. And we want to hear from you wherever you watch Candlepin Stars and Strikes. We'd like to know where you are and what you have to think about our program every week. Here's the mailing address, and you can send your letters to Candlepin Stars and Strikes, WNDS TV, 50 Television Place, Derry, New Hampshire, 03038. Let us hear from you, the fans of Candlepin Stars and Strikes, and we'll be back to tell you about our winner in next week's match when we come back to Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire, right after this. Time for our bonus ball contest, which we have after every match on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Our winning bowler will bowl a ball and we'll try to match him up with a winner at home for a cash prize. And let's go to Joe Stella and see if we can get a winner at home. Joe, go ahead. It is an 8. All right, let's dip into the bin here where we have lots and lots of cards. Let's see if we can pull out a winner here. I'll dig deep in and see if we can grab a winner here. Here we go. It is Ruth Cipoletti from Lynn, Massachusetts. She picked 8. A winner. That's a $30 winner for Ruth Cipoletti of Lynn, Massachusetts. $30 is the winning prize this week in the bonus ball contest. Now we go in and we pull out a card for 10 free strings of bowling here at Leda Lanes in Nashua. This is Ms. Y.M. Girardi of Arlington, Massachusetts. 10 strings of bowling for Ms. Girardi. And now the cruise to nowhere, courtesy of Travel Connection in Plastow, New Hampshire. This is the nice prize that we added on this series and will stay with us through the remainder of our ladder series competition on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. The cruise to nowhere, and the winner of the cruise to nowhere, I pulled out a couple of cards there. Let me get the top one, and it is Rita Strong of Lowell, Massachusetts. She wins the cruise to nowhere from Travel Connection of Plastow, New Hampshire. So congratulations to Rita Strong for the winner of the cruise to nowhere. Now let's bring up Joe Stella. Joe, congratulations to you. What's it like beating up on your best buddy?
It's not good. I didn't like it.
You didn't like beating up on your friend?
No.
No, you guys face each other often? Do you bowl against each other or with each other?
No, we bowl with each other all the time.
Never have a chance to compete against each other? Every once in a while, I imagine.
Every once in a blue moon, but very seldom. Mainly we're together.
And when you team up, you're on the same bowling team, so you guys, I know you're telling me you face the Morgan brothers and different guys in competition, so it's a pretty universal group of guys. You're bowling with each other and against each other all the time.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
How often do you bowl?
Right now, probably 3 times a week.
So and you're bowling with the same again, you're bowling with Ed those 3 nights, or is it a different team, a different group of guys?
No, I just bowl with Ed on Friday nights. It's a traveling league. We travel around, and we have a big match coming up against the Morgans on Friday night.
Well, that'll be after, of course. By the time you see this, that match will be over and done with, and we'll tell you how it came out a little later on down the road. But you took charge in this match, and you were really around the headpin for most of the match.
Yeah, most of the match was around the headpin.
Did you feel like you had to make any adjustments during the course of it?
A few adjustments I made. I know Eddie knows the adjustment I made, and they worked out good for me.
You had a chance early on, the triple strike. We had done it 2 weeks in a row, and first 2 boxes, you had a couple of strikes. What's going through your mind?
Maybe I'm going to get one, too, I'm saying.
This wasn't meant to be. We have $50, a gift certificate for Haverhill Beef. We have the book that you saw me give Ed a few moments ago. We have one for you as well. And Tom Morgan next week in the championship match. We'll look forward to seeing you then.
Thank you.
Joe Stella, our winner here this afternoon. And that sets up the championship match next week, when it will be Joe Stella taking on Tom Morgan here at Leda Lanes, and we'll look forward to seeing you. We have 4 bowlers already who have qualified for our Tournament of Champions at the end of the year. They are Mike Poulin, who rolled a 412, Gary Santoro, who rolled a 386, Joe Tavernese, a 374, and Scott Creighton, a 349. Those 4 are already in the Tournament of Champions. Tom Morgan and Joe Stella will meet next week with the winner of that match, joining those 4 in our Tournament of Champions at the end of the year. Ultimately, we will have 6. So that sets up next week's championship match. We'll look forward to seeing you then. For Mike Morin, who couldn't be with us this week, he'll be back with us in a couple of weeks. And our entire WNDS TV crew, I'm Dick Lutz. Thanks for watching Candlepin Stars and Strikes, everybody. We'll see you next time from Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire. So long, everyone.